The saga of Ape City comes to an end. Will all our questions be answered and mysteries solved? Let's get into the summary. It begins with a bunch of silly ape parody TV shows, followed by a news report recapping the previous issues. We then pick up where issue 3 left off. Mongo and his friend are flying off a cliff on a motorcycle while the others watch in horror. Mongo has an idea. He puts the crystal in the motorcycle's gas tank. This allows the cycle to fly. Of course. They fly over the forest. Kong waves to them. He's looking pretty good after being set on fire last issue. They fly over French landmarks because why not? A baboonja steals a motorcycle from one of the biker apes and promptly crashes it. He rises with his eyes glowing and muscles expanding. He announces that he is Croc the Undying and leads the baboonjas back to their haven. Alright then. The Vindicators threaten Dr. Bende, but Joe Taylor reveals she has a bomb or something, and the Vindicators let Bende go. Joe drops the bomb and goes off with Bende. Mongo returns and gives Bende the crystal. Bende gives Joe the crystal and she goes off in the Vindicator's ship. Flanagan is on the ship and he fights with Joe, taking back the crystal. This causes the ship to fall. Kong catches it and saves Flanagan and flicks away Joe. Okay. So it turns out Joe was actually a villain. She was just pretending to be nice so she could get the crystal back or something. Whatever. Anyway, the Vindicators find Joe and decide to keep her alive. At Fat's Palace, Bende, Rox, and Flanagan watch Mongo and his band perform Born to Be Wild. So yeah, instead of resolution, we were left with even more bizarre questions. We never receive any explanation of who the Baboonjas are, why they have magic, and we got a new mystery with Croc. The Vindicators are still in the present and still a threat, so no resolution on that front. The ape mobsters were absolutely pointless. Why were they even introduced into this story? They don't serve any purpose. The overly goofy humor of the first issue is back, and it's so weird. It feels like the first and fourth issues have their own tone, the overly goofy tone, while the second and third issues have a completely separate tone where it seems to be kind of trying to make sense of this weird world. So yeah, the Ape City comics are over. There were never any more Ape City comics after this 4-issue miniseries. It's kind of unfortunate on the one hand. I was actually kind of getting into these characters in this world, this incarnation of Planet of the Apes, but at the same time, it just felt like more nonsense mounting on top of more nonsense, and it all comes to a non-ending. There is no real ending here. This reads more like the first part of an ongoing, like, serialized series, but again, 4 issues. They had 4 issues to tell a story, and we didn't really get one. If I were to summarize this as a whole, it's some humans come from an alternate past or something. An ape steals a crystal from their ship. A fight ensues over the crystal. The Vindicators, the humans, they get the crystal back in the end, and that's it. No resolution. I don't really know what exactly was going on with the Ape City comic, but yeah, I can definitely see why Adventure Comics didn't continue on doing more Planet of the Apes comics after this. Like, this really feels like a jumping the shark moment. I highly doubt that back in the day, this is what Planet of the Apes fans wanted. If I was a Planet of the Apes fan and I'm going to my comic book store, I'm ordering all the new Apes comics, and I see Ape City, and that first issue with its cover makes me think, oh, this is going to be a cool comic, and maybe it ties in a little bit with Battle for the Planet of the Apes, because the cover is clearly that scene with, was it Urko? General Urko is with all the guerrilla soldiers conspiring against Caesar. around the campfire. That's what that scene looks like to me. And then I get it, and yeah, we get Ape City issue 1, really bizarre, different, unique take on Planet of the Apes to be the nicest I can be. The second issue feels like it's trying to make some sense of what's going on, like try to ground this a little bit more. The third issue is a cluttered but okay continuation. Then the fourth one is, yeah, like from the very beginning, it said 4 issues, 1 of 4, 2 of 4, 3 of 4, 4 of 4. They knew they had 4 issues to do something, and apparently they were extremely overconfident and thought that this was going to be overwhelmingly popular and was going to spin off into its own series or something. It's the only thing that makes any sense, that they thought Ape City was going to take off and become a big thing. So yeah, there's Ape City. It's a weird series. If you're a Planet of the Apes fan, I kind of recommend it. Like, if you want something bonkers and off the wall and unexpected, I guess this, or Ape Nation, the Planet of the Apes and Alien Nation crossover, which was put out by the same company and I think written by the same person. I haven't read that one yet, but I imagine that one's got to be pretty freaking weird, because Alien Nation, as far as I know, wasn't that set like in the present? Like that was about aliens coming to Earth and trying to integrate with human society or something. I don't know how in the world Alien Nation and Planet of the Apes would work together. I don't know, maybe I'll look at that later. It does fill a niche, I guess, for Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes really doesn't have too many, like, really bonkers off the wall entries. I think other than this, the only other, like, really weird thing is maybe the Tim Burton movie. But even that, it's not that weird. Like, a lot of the weirdness comes from the ending of that. There's goofy stuff in there, sure, like not to the level of Ape City's humor, with like Geraldo and silly things like that. Or yeah, the American Express card joke, man, that was stupid. But yeah, if you want something really bonkers and weird from Planet of the Apes, Ape City. If you want like just standard Planet of the Apes stuff and nearly anything else, there is that book Planet of the Apes: The Fall that I did a video about a year or two ago. That was an okay sci-fi novel that didn't really have a heavy focus on Planet of the Apes elements. The apes really only come into prominence at the end of the novel. The rest of it is like just about these space traveler people fighting off an evil goo monster hive mind thing on an alien planet. Yeah, that was weird. So yeah, that's it for this series. Hope you enjoyed it. This was a fun journey to take. And yeah, I'll be looking out for some more weird Planet of the Apes comics in the future to maybe do some videos on those. So I hope you enjoyed all this. See ya.